Hello and welcome to today's masterclass to get you started with clarity on your path to food freedom. This masterclass covers the 4 most common reasons you are stuck binge eating and what to do instead. I'm Marissa, for those who do not know me, but before I tell you anything about myself, I want to welcome you. I'm so proud of you for being here because it is truly difficult to put ourselves first and seek support and guidance when we're struggling. But truth be told, we cannot show up for the world around us, for our loved ones, if we are not aligned with our authentic self and feeling like the best version of ourselves. So if you're here, I'm guessing that is the journey that you are on today or that you're seeking to get started on. So you might be feeling exhausted by your war with food and just want to stop binge eating for good. Or you're tired of missing out on your life because of your obsession with food and your body. I definitely relate to this one from my past. And you know something's got to change, but you've had a lot of failed starts along the way. There's a lot of confusion and lack of clarity in what to do next, what your path is going to look like. No matter what the reason is that you're here today, I am here for you. I get it because I've been there and I want to be able to relay all of the information that I've learned from my personal experiences, clinical experiences, and the lived experiences of my past clients to apply them to you and give you action steps to take so you can move forward in creating your most healthful life free from your war with food. So in today's masterclass, I'm going to show you how you can start taking action now on your food freedom journey. We are going to walk through 4 simple yet major shifts you can start making today to go from struggling to control your appetite, feeling confused about how to listen to your body, and definitely wanting to quit obsessively counting, measuring, and weighing everything, to cultivating a peaceful and trusting relationship with food and your body, giving you more time and energy to live a life aligned with your values. Oh, doesn't that sound good? I mean, truly, can you imagine this freedom of living and being without the control of food, without it dictating your next move? I know I can. Can you taste it? No pun intended. Okay. Before we get started, I want to make sure you are in the right place. This masterclass is for you if you are ready to learn actionable steps to leave binge eating behind for good. If you're open to learning about something you may or may not fully understand yet, right? Just that openness and ready to absorb some new information. You understand this webinar cannot cure anything as this takes time and guidance, but you want a better life free from food and body obsession. Does any of this sound like you? If it does, keep listening on. Now, this masterclass may not be for you if you want a quick fix solution and you aren't willing to be patient with the time that is needed to heal. You aren't ready to go through some challenging yet powerful shifts with your mindset and behaviors around food. You can't make the time in your schedule to prioritize the work you need to implement on your journey of self-healing. And you want to continue tracking, measuring, counting, weighing, portioning, manipulating food and your body with a little winky face, because I doubt anyone truly wants to live a life defined by that. Now, if this sounds like you, do not worry. You have access to this masterclass for life. You can revisit this when you feel ready to sit and absorb this information in order to turn the page for that next step on your journey to food freedom. Stick around until the end for an opportunity to receive a bonus guide from me to kick off your binge freedom journey. Ooh, I know you probably already know what this guide is, what your little bonus is, but let's pretend it's some big surprise, shall we? But I'll show you how you can actually access the kickoff guide by the end of this masterclass. Now, I would like to share a little more about myself. So, if you don't know me, you can get to know me, my heart, and my intentions here today. So, I'm Marissa. I'm in South Carolina. I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and body image coach. My mission is to help more women just like you break free from the diet binge cycle, build body trust and attunement, and cultivate a healthful life free from obsession, stress, or guilt. Why? Right? Why am I here giving this to you today? Because I've been there. I struggled with binge eating for years and I thought I was the problem. I thought I was broken. Diet after diet failed me when I would lose weight and then gain it all back again, plus more, leaving me feeling guilty and untrustworthy around food. Binge eating truly controlled my life. I was obsessed with food and my body, and I just couldn't control myself around my favorite foods like ice cream, chocolate, anything sweet. But in 2015, after a breaking point, truly, I finally figured it out. I healed my relationship with food. I became a confident, intuitive eater, and I have not binged since. So now it is my mission to help you do the same. Tell me, how would it feel to enjoy food again without overthinking it? Just sit in that for a second. If you could walk through your life and your daily routines, doing the things that fill you up without any of it being dictated on what you ate or didn't eat, what you ate or didn't eat that day. Well, Julia, Aniansi, and Gabby all asked themselves that question and were willing to find out what that felt like. These are my past group coaching clients, and Julia joined my program, and she thought she was going to fight against food for the rest of her life. But she invested, she went through the time investment and energy investment of healing and relearning how to attune and trust her body. And it took time, but in the end, she really learned how to tune in with her body. It sounds impossible, but it really is. And I think she meant it really is possible. I no longer depend on food. I do not think about it constantly. And I have a very balanced diet and I like my body. I feel like I'm finally coming to peace with food in my body. Amazing. Then we have Annie Yancey, and Annie Yancey really struggled. And I'm going to share a lot more about her story later to inspire you. But she says right here in this message, it's so hard. Oh my God, it's truly incredibly so hard, particularly when you don't know or believe what's on the other side. And you're certain you're going to be the one for whom this doesn't work. Is anyone saying that? This isn't going to work for me? We're going to talk about that. She said, I'm so glad I was able to swim to the other side. It's so peaceful here. Told her I'm proud of her. And she said it was one of the hardest things she's ever gone through, but so totally worth it. It's not easy. It's not easy taking what's probably been ingrained in us for years, if not decades, and unpacking it, unlearning it, and then rebuilding a trust that has maybe never existed or that has been broken time and time again with your body. It's hard, but it's not impossible. Now, Gabby, look at this message. She says, I seriously never realized how time consuming it was thinking about food all the time. I just feel so good to not walk into the cereal aisle and feel overwhelmed because I think I need to check every box to make sure I buy the lowest calorie cereal. Something so small, yet so big. Can anyone else relate to the late night binges on cereal? I used to not even keep them in my house until I learned that that was perpetuating the binge cycle. And same with Gabby. Gabby says, I'm so surprised because obviously it'll take more time, but I really thought I wouldn't be able to stop obsessing. Amazing. It is so empowering and inspiring to see the women who put themselves first in order to heal their relationships with food and move forward. Now, we're going to dive into the reasons why you might be feeling stuck where these ladies once were. So the four most common reasons you're likely stuck in the binge eating cycle would be number one, you're setting the wrong goal. What could that mean? Number two, when you skip a very important first step before diving in, when your expectations aren't realistic, and when your approach doesn't allow growth. Question mark. What? So I absolutely am not just going to leave you with just what you're doing, quote unquote, wrong, but what to do instead, where to shift to. So number one, if you've set the wrong goal, set up that powerful foundation that's needed for binge freedom success. And we're going to go over the exact formula to do so. Number two, when you skip a step, actually uncover the key change you need uncover the key change you need to make to stop obsessing over food. Number three, when your expectations aren't realistic, start taking this one simple first step daily to build back your body trust. And number four, when your approach is not allowing growth, identify where you're stuck to get unstuck. I wrote this wrong. Identify where you're stuck, ignore my typo, and learn the quickest detour to get to your goal, which we are going to problem solve together, my friends. All right, let's regroup. Have I lost you yet? Have you picked up your phone and started scrolling through TikTok? I get it, but we're about to dive into the first reason, and I want to make sure you're paying attention. We're going to get all the juicy tips and start moving towards a life of food freedom. So let's focus. Pull out your workbook that you got when you registered for this masterclass. Follow along because you can use the workbook to reflect and learn and grow and take notes, which is very important if you want to take your relationship with food seriously. So let's get started. Reason number one, making the goal to just stop binge eating. So I said, what if you've made the wrong goal? If your goal is stop binge eating, you've made the wrong goal. So you're probably wondering, then what am I doing here? What am I working towards? Are we just going to keep binge eating and that's not what we're working away from? No, but your goal may be holding you back by setting some unrealistic expectations or putting ourselves ahead of the first next step, right? If we go from never being able to swim to jumping off the deep end, that may scare us from ever going in a pool ever again. So when your goal may possibly be holding you back, take a moment to build a foundational mindset first, which is why plus belief plus patience. That is the foundational mindset of binge freedom. So you want to first identify why you want to heal your relationship with food. Because if you don't know why you're working on this, it will be hard to stay motivated. And then you believe that you aren't the exception, just like Anna Yancey. Visualize your why as your future truth. If you don't believe in yourself, I'm going to show you in a minute how that will stop you from fully dedicating yourself to the hard but worth it process of healing your relationship with food. And on top of that, unlearning and relearning how to trust and attune to your body's needs will take time. So patience is necessary. I tell my clients at the beginning of working with me that no matter how long we are together, expect at least a year. It just gives us an expectation of where we're going to be sitting for a bit of time, but time flies. It is seriously almost 2022. I don't know how that happened so fast, but it goes by really fast. So let's just set that goal for, all right, I'm going to fully commit to this for at least a year. And odds are in a year, you'll either be fully where you want to be, or you will have turned so many pages that you will never want to go back and you want to keep going towards that future. So give yourself the time it takes to really just explore the process. and I'll be here with you along the way. We're only in the first step here. So, what happens when you don't have a solid why or a solid belief system? A few bad days, and you'll give up on yourself. You can't remember why this is worth it. So, this purple line here on this chart, you go up, oh, you have a win. You were able to keep Oreos in the house and not binge on it until you do the next day. And then it's like, oh, I knew I was the exception, but I'll keep trying. And then, it continues to spiral from there. So that uncertainty in not only your goal, but also in yourself will be a big barrier and limitation to following through on this journey. But if you have that solid, beautiful, inspiring why, and you believe that you're not a unicorn, you're not the exception, every setback is an opportunity to learn. And the why makes the patient process worth it. Keep your eyes on the prize. Just know that that is waiting for you on the other side. So your action step is to start with why. Why are you embarking on this journey to binge freedom? Why are you here? What will it give you? And what will it feel like? Really tune in to that dream, to that visualization, and make it something that you can see in your mind. If you're wondering, what if this isn't possible though? Ask yourself, what if it is? And that's what Emma did. Emma is a past client of mine that I recently interviewed on my podcast. So if you haven't given it a listen, Emma's story is super inspirational. And she told me in the episode that a month into treatment, my sister had a beautiful baby boy. So I had a million more reasons to recover. Here's her why. I had to look in myself for not only the person I wanted to be for myself, but the person I wanted to be to my family, the aunt I wanted to be to my nephew. I want him to think of me as the aunt who makes pizza with him, who takes him to the park to play. There are so many more things that I want my nephew to think of me for than the one that's weird when we go out to dinner. Oh, and that's a picture of Emma and her nephew right there. And it's so sweet. We had such a great conversation in that episode about how things were in the beginning when she first started her recovery and how she ended up kind of backpedaling a little bit because she was doing it for other people. But when she was able to create a why that really meant something to her, she transformed her relationship with food. And now she's on the other side as an intuitive eater, because she knew why it was worth it. It doesn't mean it wasn't hard, but the hardships were worth it to get past and keep going. If you've ever thought, I'll believe it when I see it, here we can switch the narrative again. I'll see it when I believe it. So affirmations can definitely get a bad rep, right? Just think positive, just think good thoughts, you're beautiful. But when we create a reframed thought, an affirmation that's more aligned with something that lands true to you, it's a reminder. It's not a phony fake it till you make it statement. It's just a reminder of your truth. So here are some powerful affirmations that my past clients and myself have all used to connect to our purpose and connect to our truth in order to keep moving forward when things feel hard. So I have everything inside of me that I need to take care of myself without using food. I'm getting better and better at listening to my body. I am learning to treat my body with love and respect, and that does not depend on whether or not I binge. There is more to life than my weight. I am ready to experience it. Obstacles are detours in the right direction. I am allowed to be human and make mistakes. You can finish reading the last few that I had up here, but you see how these aren't, I am perfect. I trust myself and I can listen to my body. I'm learning. I'm getting better at this. It's okay. I'm worthy. Statements that are more applicable and may ring more true for you as you are transitioning into more of this confident, intuitive eater space. All right, enough with the foundational mindset. It's a big chunk of this because it's the foundation. We have to have it really solid and secure before moving forward to reason number 2. We cannot dive into listening to our body right away if we've been struggling with our relationship with food. So, the second reason why you may be stuck binge eating would be if you're trying to just listen to your body without breaking up with food rules first, skipping a step. If we've been restricting, if we've been in a diet binge cycle, if we've been using food as a coping tool, we have to unlearn old unhelpful beliefs before we can relearn how to find that attunement to our body again. So listening to your body is not just something that we can do tomorrow unless we have built back that trust, because odds are your body doesn't trust you. So dieting, restricting, food rules is one of the most common things to contribute to binge eating. So when you've skipped that step of breaking up with dieting, explore what beliefs are still tying you to food rules, because unconditional permission is key to binge freedom. Now, what is unconditional permission to eat? Unconditional permission includes rejecting diet rules and adopting full permission to eat, rejecting the all or nothing mentality and adopting permission to mess up, rejecting the war on weight and adopting permission for your body to change, and rejecting perfectionism and adopting permission to learn. Now, what if you're thinking, but I do have permission. I do allow all foods fit, right? This is where so many people get stuck, and is very common for me to hear this statement when first starting to work with someone on healing their relationship with food. Does the voice in your head ever sound like, I can have pizza, but only 1 to 2 slices? That should have filled me up. I want more, but I don't need more. Second guessing a desire based on what you should or shouldn't eat. Denying yourself sizing up with the hopes of losing weight. Or binging being a sign of failure. This is conditional permission. You can have pizza, but only 1 to 2 slices. The 1 to 2 slices is a condition. So when we think with conditional permission, our body translates that into, I can't trust this person. I can't get my needs met. I don't trust that I'll get my needs met. So I need to get everything I need in now while it's happening before it's gone. So if you think I can have pizza, but only 2 slices, your body hears, this pizza's limited. Eat more before it's gone. And that's when that out of control feeling can come over you. And next thing you know, the pizza box is gone and your partner is upset because they didn't get another slice. Or if you think I want another cookie, but I already ate some this week. I already ate some earlier today. Your body hears, I'm not allowed to eat cookies. So eat them while you can. It's that restrictive mindset that's making our body feel insecure around a food that it wants or needs. I feel like getting seconds, but I should be full. My signal for more is being ignored. Better stock up while we can, because it's not trustworthy. It's not reliable that I can get my needs met. Do you see how we may think we can't trust our body logically, but truly our body has gotten the message that it can't trust us? So get unstuck by building body trust. So unconditional permission sounds more like, I can have pizza as much as I need to feel satisfied. That should have filled me up. I guess I need more energy today. Honoring a desire based on what will feel good in your body. Sizing up with hopes of finding clothes to feel comfortable in. Binging being a chance to learn and show yourself compassion. Now, if you think unconditional permission to eat, eating whatever I want when I want, I'm just binge forever, feel out of control. Well, yeah. I mean, if we just break free from food rules today and start unconditional permission eating whatever we want tomorrow, and we go to get pizza, yeah, we'll likely eat the whole box because it takes time to build trust. If trust is broken between you and a friend or in a relationship, can it be mended by just saying sorry? Oopsie, I'm doing something different now. No, it's built by taking action. If we haven't allowed ourselves to have pizza for a while unconditionally, we're likely going to overeat on it at first. Just like if we were deprived of air, we would over breathe, we would gasp after being underwater. Or if we've been deprived of sleep, we would oversleep to catch up on our sleep and rest. If we've been under eating or not giving our body the things that it needs to feel great mentally and physically, then our body's going to try to compensate until it knows that the food that we need or want is available and it can trust that we will provide it. So with body trust, permission to eat simply allows a choice to be made based on attunement to your needs. With rules, there is no choice. That's the difference. So unconditional permission is not just eat what you want when you want, solely dependent on your taste buds based on impulses alone. It is permission to make a choice based on a multitude of factors that we will definitely dive into. So here is the equation of building body trust according to me. It's unconditional permission plus attunement plus time equals body trust. So if you've lost that trust, use this as your framework. We need to give ourselves permission to give our body what it needs to trust us again, which may take overcompensating a little bit for, hey, remember, I can eat this. Remember, it's all good. No food is good or bad, and overly showing our body that I am here for you. Plus attunement, once you fully have cultivated that unconditional permission. Attunement is really listening to your body. What does it need? What does it want? What would best serve you? Plus time, because again, trust can't be built overnight. So here's something to think about. What do you think would happen if you ate your forbidden food every day at every meal? If you're still having some apprehensions to unconditional permission to eat, thinking I would never stop eating pizza if I allowed myself to have it unconditionally. I have to have some rules because I just lose control. Imagine eating it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. Now, this is hypothetical. I don't ask people to do this. But if you have it multiple days in a row, how long until you say you don't want pizza anymore? How long until you realize it doesn't have the power over you that you think it does? It's all about permission. This is what Sarah did. So Sarah is a past group coaching client who decided to go what we call all in, where you say, I'm not going to pick one category or one food or one off limit rule that I'm going to work on. I'm just going to say, I have permission to do whatever the heck I want. I'm going to eat however much I want, whatever I want, and until I feel satisfied mentally. So Sarah says, I ate all the things and a lot of them, and it was terrifying. I was scared that I'd eat like that forever, and I was just going to keep gaining weight for the rest of my life. It took me a few months, but then the honeymoon period just kind of stopped, and food no longer had that forbidden allure. I still eat some sweets every day, but I no longer eat until I feel mentally and physically horrible. I finally feel like food doesn't control me. I never thought I'd say this, but I've had ice cream and chocolate that's been sitting in my kitchen for weeks. Oh my gosh. I have some when I feel like it, but it no longer has some scary power over me. Seriously, I didn't think that was even a possibility for me. See that last line? I didn't even think it was a possibility for me. We know that that doubt is weighing on you as you move forward and taking action on this journey. But just know that you're not alone in that belief system. Sarah thought it, Anna Yancey thought it, Gabby thought it, Julia thought it, I thought it. But what's the alternative? If we know that the diet binge cycle has failed us time and time again, maybe this time it'll click. Maybe this is your answer. So let's try it. Sarah fully went for it, and she gave herself time to experience that uncomfortable honeymoon phase with her unconditional permission. And now she is an intuitive eater, and she has that permission to make a choice based on the attunement to her body and what it needs. She can eat her fun foods without losing control or without eating in a way that makes her feel not so great. So where do I even begin? It's like who, what, where, when, why, but it's where, when, what, why, how. When you're able to reflect, sit back and identify when you feel resistance towards certain types or amounts of food, certain timing, any sort of diet rules. What is the limiting belief that you have around the permission to engage in this behavior? Why is that belief false? Why is it not serving your current goals? So remind yourself why that is not a belief or behavior that's aligning with your new mission of food freedom. And how could you begin to challenge these beliefs and narratives with intentional behaviors? This gives you a moment to really sit back and look at the patterns in your mindset, in your rules that are holding you to the restriction that's therefore fueling your binge cycle, so you can dissect it and come up with an action plan to move on. All right, we are going into reason number 3. So let's reconnect here. Have I lost you? Put down the phone, open up that notebook again, tune into me. I'm here for you. And we are going to move forward with the last 2 reasons and how to move on before I give you that bonus kickoff guide. So reason number 3 is expecting that you need to throw out any plans or structure that you have to your meals out the window. Planning and structure is absolutely a part of listening to our body. It may not sound the most intuitive thing, but it's truly a way to attune to your body's needs by providing the access to choices that you will make when your body is sending you a signal. So if you've had these expectations that aren't realistic, start with one simple and practical step to build body trust. Yes, practicality is part of listening to your body. So this would be consistent eating patterns, because consistent eating patterns satisfies your body's basic needs of adequacy. Consistency regulates your appetite, and it builds that trust and security. So your body is not going to be questioning when you'll get your next meal, or if at that next meal you will have enough to satiate you on for the rest of the day until your next moment of getting energy. So building body trust is truly the core of all of this. We have the foundation of mindset, but the core of the home, the heart of the home, is trust. If we don't trust, we don't have that mindset set. If we don't trust, we can't eat with unconditional permission. If we don't trust, it's hard to nurture and care for our body without that guilt and judgment. So we want to build the trust from the inside out. If trust is the core of the house, trust is also the core of your being. So logically, I know you may think, I can't trust my body, but that's because your body doesn't trust you. So it's like a two-way street here, and neither of you are winning. So your body needs to know that it can trust you. And then you will begin to see that when there's that trust, you can tune in to the reliable cues from your body in order to listen to it without following a strict rule, rigid meal plan, diet, etc. So the first step in building body trust is consistency, reliability. Tell your body it can trust you by eating enough consistently throughout the day to regulate your appetite again and satisfy your body's needs so you can better attune to it moving forward. So you might be thinking, okay, consistently enough, but what is enough? What does my body need? You already have the answer, but what's missing is the trust. Because here are some signals that you do trust from your body: when you're tired, when you have to go to the bathroom, when you're hot, when you're in pain, when you're cold. These are just signals your body sends you, and then you act on them. You go to sleep, you take a nap, you go to the bathroom, put on a jacket, take some medicine, whatever it is. So, why can't hunger and fullness be treated the same way as these other signals? Because diet culture has told you that you shouldn't, that somehow it's wrong to feel full or feel hungry. So when we continuously ignore a signal our body is sending us, our body gets the message that that signal doesn't work. It's broken. And so why take the energy to give out those signals reliably? Maybe something else needs to be happening. And that's when you might find those really big rushes of appetite where you feel ravenous at the end of the day, because that's the only way that your body is able to get attention and get its needs met. So if there are inconsistent or unreliable signals from your body in regards to hunger or fullness, we have to make the very first priority building that body trust. And that might look different than when you've passed the healing phase. If in tuning into your body and listening to it and trying to eat consistently, you're like, I can't stop eating, and there is no way I need this much food. So what could my body possibly be telling me? When there is broken trust, your needs will look very different than when there's healed trust. So if you think about the behaviors that you might engage in as you're healing your relationship with food, and you have this feeling that this isn't healthy, eating pizza every day isn't healthy. Health looks different through different seasons of life for different individuals. A general health promoting behavior we know is moving our body. What if you have a broken leg or you're disabled? Would it be appropriate for someone to say that you are not healthy, or that it would be healthier if you engaged in some exercise? No, because it's not healthy for you if you don't have the ability to do so, or if it would harm your body to do so. So reminding yourself that this journey of healing is going to look like a totally different health pursuit than after you've healed your relationship with food. Because when there's that broken trust, when you need to heal, your body is looking for extra food for security, reliable access to food, nurturing and compassion, more rest than movement, emotional comfort, etc. However, on the flip side, when you've healed that trust, when you can attune to your body's needs and meet those needs consistently without condition or rules, you will probably more so prioritize foods that satisfy your hunger, eating patterns that support you feeling your best, behaviors that support your external health values, joyful movement, balance in your life, and making decisions based on logic rather than the physical feelings and desires your body is sending you from here rather than the logical part of your brain. So these lists are not mutually exclusive, but rather differing levels of priority. So you're definitely going to eat foods that satisfy your hunger when you have broken trust. You're definitely going to have reliable access to food when you have that healed trust and give yourself nurturing compassion. But you're probably not going to want to prioritize balance or external health values or eating in certain ways based on logic alone, because logically you have a broken leg, and that is to be considered until it's healed. So that's exactly what Tiffany did. While Tiffany was in the group, she went and spent Galentine's Day with her friends. And prior to going, she messaged us in the online community and said, I don't know what to do leading up to this event, because previously I've just not gone, or I go, but I restrict all day prior, and then just end up overeating while I'm there with my friends and feeling very out of touch with the moment. And then getting home, binging later that night or the next day. So with the community, we implemented some consistent eating patterns, eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner as normal before going so that she could better listen to her body in the moment of the event. So after the event, Tiffany followed up with us in the online group and said, I can't begin to say how much I enjoyed my night with my friends. I started my day as usual, doing my routine, eating breakfast and lunch, and then we all cooked and ate dinner together. I was able to pace myself and could listen to my body as best I could. I was able to eat the chocolates and my food and have a good time. The following day, we all woke up and went and got bagels together. And honestly, I can't remember the last time I had a bagel. Then I had a lunch as normal and then dinner too. Now today, I'm back in my routine and feeling really good and optimistic. Sounds like a lot of fun. And that planning really kept Tiffany's appetite consistent, and she did not get flooded with a ravenous appetite at the end of the day because her body knew it would get what it needed, when it needed it, without fail. This is also a really great example of ditching that all or nothing mentality, because Tiffany didn't go back home after this weekend and start some new diet on Monday or skip a meal or anything. She just continued on as usual because Tiffany cultivated the mindset that food does not need to be earned, and that having a fun experience with friends simply for enjoyment and making memories is as good of a reason as anything to enjoy fun foods and move on. Reason number 4, we're in the home stretch. It's trying to use your willpower and self-control to resist the urge to binge. You've likely heard me talk about this on my Instagram because it is a huge misconception that we should remove binge foods from our lives in order to stop binge eating. So I talk out a lot about this, but let's dive into even deeper why, even if the foods are around us, why just resisting the urge when it occurs or trying to ignore it is not the best strategy to overcome binge eating. So what should you do instead? If it feels like you have no self-control over your binges, detour your self-sabotage cycle with non-judgmental curiosity. I skipped a slide, but it just pops this up. So non-judgmental curiosity is meant to silence your inner critic. You don't stop at a dead end, but you rather reroute your path with intention if you land at a dead end. You create a plan, planning and consistency that supports your individuality, and curiosity cultivates attunement to your body. I love this quote by Gabby Bernstein. Being brave enough to witness your judgment without judgment is liberating. You will feel an incredible sense of freedom. Hold on to this as we move forward to witnessing our unhelpful thoughts and behaviors in order to move past them and find that freedom. So this is judgmental awareness, and likely a cycle that you may have felt stuck in before. So judgmental awareness leads to self-blame, such as, why did I binge on the ice cream again tonight? I knew I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have bought any. What is wrong with me? Now, how different does this sound? Curious awareness is when you reflect and you plan. If you downloaded my cheat sheet freebie, you may have done some reflecting on unsupportive patterns that you've identified are contributing to some of your binge eating cycles. So if an unsupportive pattern that you've identified is that you have a food rule such as not allowing yourself to eat carbs, you may write something like this. I'm not allowing myself to eat carbs after 7 p.m. without feelings of guilt. And then I end up binging anyway. If you hear a pattern in that statement, it's important to reflect on it and plan some helpful actions to combat the root that's contributing to the binges. So it's not just about not allowing yourself to eat carbs after 7. It's not about cultivating more willpower. It's about saying there's a pattern here. And this is clearly showing me that restricting in this way and feeling the resistance towards having fun foods that may be filled with carbs in the evening is just leading me to feeling out of control with them later. So what are some helpful actions to combat the core of the root of this problem? And that might sound like, I need to practice thought reframing exercises to pull myself out of the guilt and shame cycles. Need to figure out how I can reject carb rules and really focusing on these helpful actions rather than staying stuck in the guilt and the negative narratives that fuel further binges. When we think about that quote by Gabby and curious awareness, I want us to think about this picture of stepping outside of the window and just peeking into your thoughts and your behaviors. We're going to observe the thoughts and look at them with an objective lens, pull our emotions out of it and observe. Because when it's riddled with that judgment, we're going to react. But if we can rather step back and observe it, we can see what it is right in front of us that may be fueling these cycles. And it can be really hard, right? To step outside of our own mind that's filled with our own lived experiences and talk and inner dialogue, but take a step back and envision the cycle that's happening that you're starting to uncover in order to cultivate that curious lens, non-judgmental, compassionate curiosity of what's going on here. If you'd like some guidance on how to get curious, here are some prompts. What type of trigger is this? What happened? What am I feeling? Was this related to an emotional, physical, or situational experience? Is this a pattern? What are some ways that I can break up with this routine in the times or the situations that this typically happens? What need might not be met? Am I needing emotional comfort, safety, security, stimulation from boredom, energy, rest, etc.? What would meet that need to make me feel better? And consider the long-term consequences of these behaviors. What can I do to make myself feel better and further honor my body's needs? So this is in your workbook. Hold on to this. And when you need to do some reflecting on the patterns and cycles that you see relating to your binges, take this out and get journaling in order to get curious. Here's where I wanted to share more about Anna Yancey's story. So Anna Yancey actually joined last October, was in my program for only 3 months and was able to find binge freedom and has been binge free for over a year now. When she first joined, she said, I realized I have just been ignoring my body's voice for so long. I have no idea what it genuinely wants, when it wants something, and how much of it. How does one recover that? She was in this honeymoon phase and she felt like it was lasting too long. There were some conditions to the lens, to the expectations of what she was pursuing when it came to food freedom. But she said, I'm giving it time. I know dieting doesn't work, so we're going in. We're fully doing this, and I'm going to sit in this suck. And when she did that, she discovered that she can eat everything and anything she wants until she's satisfied. She says, lo and behold, my body knows exactly what it needs and how to achieve balance. Mind blown. And this is something that any one of you can experience. Even in this message off to the side, Anna Yancey says, I hesitated and struggled so much during our work together. And even though I was giving it my all, there was a huge part of me that never really believed it would work for me. And here I am. I have not had one single binge since we started back in October. And this was 2020, people. And she is still not binged to this day. And she is now a group mentor in my group coaching program in order to give you support from somebody who has recently gone through all of this together right there with you. So it is absolutely possible for you to attune to your body's needs, no matter how far removed you may feel from the wisdom of your body. We just need to heal first and foremost. And you can use these 4 steps to better cultivate that trust and thus attune to your body. So what is attunement that I keep saying, right? You keep saying attunement. Is that even a word in the dictionary? Every time I write it, it gives me that little red squiggly line trying to tell me it's not a word, but it's a word to me. I'm pretty sure it's the word that resonates the most with the way that I feel about intuitive eating and listening to our body, because it's not just listening. I feel like listening and intuitive eating sounds like impulsively listening. What is your body telling you in this exact moment? And then act on that right now. But attunement is learning. It's using the listening to file, like a little storage file cabinet in your brain of the patterns of your body and what best supports your best self. So you can act on that proactively and reactively. So, hunger. When are you hungry? What does that feel like? That's attunement. When are you hungry is listening to just when you're hungry, you feel it. What if you don't feel it though? What if because your body doesn't trust you, you don't get those reliable signals? Well, then what does it feel like when you feel it? And is it more of that extreme hunger that you feel? How can we backpedal and find those other subtle signs of hunger? That's attunement. Fullness. When are you full? What does it feel like? Satisfaction. What foods are satisfying mentally and physically? Feeling. What makes your body feel great versus not so great physically and mentally? Health values. What are health promoting behaviors that align with your values that you can add? That align with your values is attunement. Not listening to external voices simply alone. It's health promoting behaviors that you've learned about. So it's using your logic and your attunement to find what adds value and aligns with value with your life. Elise Reich is one of the co-authors of the Intuitive Eating book, and she says, intuitive eating is the dynamic interplay between instinct, emotion, and rational thought. That's attunement. And I made this picture here to show you all of the different ways that we may or may not listen to our body through various different moments in our life. I think in general, when we think of intuitive eating, we think of listening to our hunger and fullness. But as you can see, those are just two of the factors at play here. What if you are about to go on a 5-hour road trip and you're not hungry right this moment, but you don't want to stop for lunch? You are going to listen to practicality and probably ability/access more than you're going to listen to your hunger. You may still listen to your fullness, but you may not listen to your health values. When we are going through different experiences in life, we are going to honor different needs at different times. In general, I'm sure there are some that we will prioritize, right? We'll probably honor our hunger and fullness for the most part for comfortability. Also, our health values, if that's something that you value and something that you want to pursue, it is neither here nor there if that is something that you value. You may honor your energy quite frequently, but enjoyment, emotions, wants, practicality, convenience, these are all important parts of not just intuitive eating, but living a healthful life. Because if we hyper focused on any one or any few of these factors, we would be ignoring the dynamic interplay of our instincts, emotions, and rational thoughts that do contribute to our overall well-being. So it's important when you are healing and moving into the space of attuning to your needs, that you remember that attunement is not simply a hungerfulness diet. It is truly a holistic care for your body, where you are a partner with your body rather than a manipulator of your body. We're almost done. So let's recap everything because this was a lot of information. Luckily, you have that workbook that you can keep with you in order to hold on to these tools, revisit them, reflect, and implement. So number one, we went over the why and the belief. So identifying the why behind your reasoning for wanting binge freedom and cultivating a belief in yourself to set up the foundational mindset for binge freedom success. You can do this now. And you can also identify any food rules that you're still clinging to and you're ready to break free from them and create unconditional permission to eat. Number two, that key. Number three, you now know that you can make a plan to consistently nourish your body and with time, build body trust. Number four, you can shift away from that judgmental mindset and move towards curiosity to overcome roadblocks and attune to your body's needs with compassion. I know that you may feel overwhelmed right now. It's a lot. You so want food freedom. You want to be Annie Yancey or a Gabby or Julia, but you have so many questions and uncertainties. Maybe you feel stuck still. You know this is what you need to do, but there is that bargaining happening where the fear of weight gain is holding you back. Or maybe you're like, nope, I am ready. I'm on a mission to stop binge eating and never diet again. And I want to start the journey to find food freedom right now. Whatever reason you're here, there are truly two options. I do this a lot in my group coaching program and with my private coaching clients of weighing the cost versus the benefit to any path that we're going to take in life. Remember, permission just allows a choice to be made, and permission is the key to unlocking your full potential of living a life free from the chains of diet culture. So, with permission to explore your options, we can identify what is going to be the most helpful and help you get to food freedom faster, to your life you're dreaming of faster, versus what may feel safer, but keep you stuck longer. So, option one is you can continue to read books, blogs, and listen to podcasts. Use free resources online to try to piece together the answers to find binge freedom and hope that maybe in a few years it will click for you, but never really feel certain if you're doing the right things or not. Or option two, you can decide to start your journey to heal your relationship with food and with clarity from the support of an expert who has been where you are right now. So you can leave binge eating behind and move forward in creating a healthful life. I don't know about you, but I'll take option two. Would you like me to help you create and implement a clear roadmap to binge freedom so you can stop guessing and know exactly what steps to take to end this exhausting cycle? Then you should join me inside Behind the Binge Academy today so that you can be 100% confident that you're growing in the right direction for binge freedom in 2022. Behind the Binge Academy is my signature group coaching program following my proven framework to give you everything you need to find binge freedom. And inside the Behind the Binge Academy, here's what you have the opportunity to do. You will take advantage of your brain's neuroplasticity to break free from the mindset that is keeping you stuck binging. You will create a plan to break up with dieting and food rules for good. You will build back that body trust so you can listen to your body without doubt and truly attune to your body's needs. You will dissect and heal from the body beliefs keeping you stuck from living a life of body peace. You will develop strategies to cope with emotions without food, while also making peace with the idea that sometimes it's okay to use food as a coping tool. And last, but definitely not least, you will create a healthful life without restrictions that gives you freedom and happiness. Doesn't that sound nice? Here are two past members of the Academy sharing their story. Hannah joined my program when she was starting grad school. And I remember our first moment, our first call together, where she was like, this has been my entire life. I don't know anything else except this binge cycle. It's something that started with dieting in her family. And now she said she thought that she'd be doomed to binge forever. But now she does not stress about food all day or experience extreme cravings like she used to, which has increased the quality of her life dramatically. Amazing. Even throughout grad school, her quality of life improved dramatically. Now, Victoria joined my program with some apprehensions, but she says, I can honestly say this is one of the most impactful things I have ever done for myself. I always thought there was something fundamentally wrong with me and that I couldn't eat normally. It's so much guilt and emotion wrapped up in what I was eating. Thank you so much for creating this program. It has helped me in so many ways, and I feel like I'm finally coming to peace with food and my body. I love it. And now Victoria is moving on to become a mom. And she says she is so excited to give these practices that she has learned in the academy and pass them on to her future children, which is just so, so sweet. So how did my past clients like Victoria and Hannah find binge freedom and cultivate this healthful life? Well, they followed the Behind the Binge framework, which you get access to inside the Academy, and it has everything you need in one self-paced course. It will take you step by step through my process, but also guide you through action steps with markers for accountability and support, which I will dive into. But what is the course? What do we cover? How do you know that this will have what you need? Well, my course follows 3 main pillars and a intro module for setting that foundation. You've already gotten started on setting that foundation, which is like I said, a step in the right direction. It's those first steps. In the intro, making that foundation, you are going to break stigmas about binge eating to relieve some of that shame. You'll find clarity in your questions about intuitive eating, and you'll finally get answers to why you binge eat so that relief will set in as we plan your path to food freedom. In phase 1, which is all about your mindset, we are going to cultivate your curious foundational mindset for binge freedom. We'll reprogram your brain to free yourself from the guilt and shame using your neuroplasticity, like I mentioned before. You will break up with food rules and reject the diet mentality. Reject it, not just ignore it. And without food obsession, you'll prepare to live your life aligned with your values. We're going to identify what your values are and make sure that all of your goals from this point forward are aligned with that. So at the end of the day, you can say, I lived my life. Isn't that song by Coldplay, One Republic? Anyway, okay. Phase 2 is building that trust and attunement to listen to your body. You will regulate your appetite and strengthen your body's cues. We will dissect body image beliefs so that you can make peace with your body. You will use non-judgmental curiosity to attune to your body. And you will break habits and patterns that do not serve you with my help to uncover what might be keeping you stuck. And then in phase 3, that is when we will dive into intuitive eating and beyond. What is next for you? You will learn to cope with emotions without, and sometimes with, food. You will redefine health for you and start tuning into those values. You'll begin to consider more logical and rational thought when making decisions. And you can move on to support yourself with intuitive eating. Sounds nice. Now, you don't just get the course, but this is what will take you through that framework. So you don't need to worry about learning all those things on your own. Just like this, I am going to walk you through step by step how to get from that obsession to a place of intuitively eating and cultivating that healthful life, by teaching you and also guiding you through action steps together. So you'll have everything you need in one self-paced course that you have access to for 12 weeks. You will also have workbooks to guide your action steps. And Mandy and Karen, both past participants of my programs, said that the material and different modules really hit all the bases and that it was really fun passing all the levels and the material was easy to access and was so helpful. So just the course alone is going to give you all of the knowledge and information you need to educate yourself on where you're headed on this journey. But it wouldn't just leave you there. I am going to be right there with you. I have group coaching calls with Behind the Binge Academy members every other week, as well as a body image coaching call every month with Molly Seifert. So 3 opportunities per month for live group coaching, plus an online community with a live Q&A and peer support in addition to all of this. So to recap, you get the group coaching calls bi-weekly, you have a body image coaching call every month, and you have peer support and communication with me between calls through this online community and an additional live Q&A every month. So technically 4 times a month, we will be together so that I can guide you, support you, answer your questions, and help dissect what is still underneath your binges and help you move forward in your next steps on your journey. Alyssa said the best part of the program is the blend of coursework, hands-on coaching, routine calls, and Facebook support group, a truly comprehensive and supportive approach. Oh, I made this to have everything you need because I don't want to just give you a little bit and then you have to go digging for the rest. I want you to have the opportunity to just one-stop shop, get it all. And so that's why I'm a fan of bonuses. In addition to everything we just talked about, you will also have the Food Freedom Resource Library, which is a library of bonus exercises, learning resources, FAQs, guest workshops, and more. I have some examples up here on the screen. Like we have a guest workshop on healing your self-sabotage. We have a guest workshop on joyful movement. I'm hoping to soon secure a guest workshop on breath work and so many other things. All of my ebooks, FAQs, extra modules, extra learning, extra support is in that Food Freedom Resource Library for you. So if you're really determined, if you have extra time, it is strictly a bonus and not required to find the results like my past clients have, but it can be an extra boost of support when you may feel uncertain to get your questions answered. So Mandy, again, is here saying, this is an amazing program, and I'm so glad I took a chance to join. I learned a ton covering so many topics of food and body to help dive into the roots of why I binge. This is the roots. I always give this analogy of I don't just want to mow the grass and mow the weeds before I plant flowers, because the weeds will take over and I won't see my flowers again. And then I'll have to just cut the weeds off again and plant more flowers. But I want to uproot the weeds. I want to take them out. I want to uncover why the weeds come back and then plant my flowers so I can have a beautiful flower bed that lasts instead of getting overtaken by these binges. And even if a binge weed comes back, I know what to do because I took the time to learn about my garden and what helps it thrive. I want to share Ava's story. So Ava is a past private coaching client as well as a group coaching client for that community support. Community is so important on this journey. You'll never feel alone on this, for real. Ava says, even though it seemed like I was talking to a friend, Marissa had an extremely structured approach. We worked on changing my mindset towards dieting, diet culture, and what being healthy actually means for me. We uncovered so many underlying patterns that I did not even realize were there. And for the first time in a decade, I can say I'm happy exactly the way I am. Please, if you are thinking about investing into yourself and your mental health, do it. It feels absolutely amazing to feel free again. Just like breathe that in. You can say that too. How good would it feel to say, I am free from this war with food in my body and I can just be? If you're ready to take that step towards this life, let's get started together. So I know you've been waiting for this. What does it cost, Marissa? What do I need to do? Well, you have a lot of tools, hopefully, that you can walk away with from this workshop. Let me know if you feel like you didn't get what you came here for today, because I want to make sure that this was a valuable class for you. But I hope at this point I've earned a chance to tell you about the Academy and offer you a spot in joining. So for the Academy, you can get everything we discussed for one payment of $997, but I also have the payment plan available of 3 monthly payments of $375 to make it more accessible for you. If you pay in full, you will save $125 and have lifetime access to the Behind the Binge community. So even once you've finished the course, even once you've moved on from the modules, you will obviously still have the support from me and the other group members through the Facebook community indefinitely. So if you're ready to get that support, you can head over to makainutrition.com/academy and get started. And if you get started straight from this masterclass, you will get a bonus, and I will be sending you your 50-page workbook printed and mailed to you right away. So even once you finish the program, you will have access to this workbook with all of the exercises from the course forever. So enter code Masterclass at checkout and make sure that you give me your mailing address, whether it's on that page or you get sent an email. And I will be sending you your printed workbook for you to work through and keep forever as you navigate your life as an intuitive eater. So I'm guessing if you're heading over to that page right now, it's because you really want to break free from your war with food and stop binge eating for good. I am so here for it. I'm cheering you on. You want to stop missing out on your life because of your obsession with food and your body. And you want to believe in yourself. You are not broken. Food freedom is possible for you. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you take away some inspiration and tools to get started on your binge freedom journey. If you don't feel ready, that's okay. I will be here for you, and you can reach out and we can see what program will best fit you at that time. But I'll be honest, I don't know if we ever truly feel 100% ready, but if you know you want this and you know you're willing to find out if this is possible for you, you don't have to wait. You can get started right now, and we will cultivate that mindset that's ready to take action and move forward in order to get you the life that you deserve, where food and your body no longer control your every move. I did it. My past clients have done it. You can do it. I truly believe this is possible for you. You can receive that lifetime access to the online community if you join today and use the code Masterclass. And I would love to continue to support you past the length of the academy, which is 12 weeks. And even if you want to continue with all the group coaching calls and the body image calls and have the food freedom resource library, after that, you have options to continue, because this is not a 12-week one and done. Good luck. I am here for support continuously for you so that we can end this binge eating cycle once and for all. We are not going to let you stay stuck like this for the rest of your life. And unfortunately, that happens to way too many people, but it doesn't have to happen to you. I am so glad that I started my journey when I did, and I know that you won't regret getting started today. So let's get you binge free in 2022. Let's get started, and I can't wait to see you inside the academy. I hope you enjoyed this masterclass. At this point, you should be able to give your email to receive the workbook, the 5-day kickoff to binge freedom. So hang tight, look in your inbox, in your spam folder, in your promotions for that bonus workbook for staying all the way through to the end. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you are feeling empowered and inspired to keep moving forward. I will see you soon, hopefully inside the academy. Bye.